Ah! What are you doing outside my base? Door camp in. Oh, you want some tips? Oh, okay. So, right, before I give you some tips, if you're brand new to this game, maybe go check out one of my other tips videos called 20 Tips for 2020. They're still valid and they're better, more for beginners, so go check that out, guys. Also, I have another tips video on my channel called 10 Tips, so if you want to find them as well, go ahead and find them. I also have a build server called Rusty Bullet Hole, so if you're new and you want to practice your base designs, or even if you're not and you just want to be able to build, no clip, fly around and just spawn in whatever you want, go check that out. I'll put a link in the description down below. Okay, let's get into these tips. Okay, first tip is, what server should I play on? Okay, so now this answer can change depending on what type of person you are. So first off, we have official servers. They are high pop, no group limits. They are one of the hardest environments / servers that you can play on. Now, I'm not saying don't play on them, but I'm saying if you're new and you don't have the hours under your belt yet, I would recommend avoiding these for a little while. But the good thing about these official servers is they do tend to stay populated for most of the wipe. Granted, they do drop players, but they do hold their player count. So if you're new and you don't have the experience yet, I would recommend hopping over to the modded section, probably type in 2x and find a 2x server. And maybe if you're a solo, maybe do solo server. Maybe if you, do you know what I mean? If you're trios, do a trio server. Obviously, then that way, at least if you're not going to get outnumbered all the time by like giant zergs and stuff like that. Also, because you're gathering stuff twice the rate and accruing items twice as fast, you're able to experience the game quicker, therefore you're able to build your bases quicker, you're able to attain loot quicker so you can PvP quicker, and you're just able to gain up more experience that little bit quicker rather than grinding on vanilla and doing it that way. And that probably leads us to our next tip. Okay guys, so where do I build my base? Okay, so before we start, we do need to understand the map quickly. So I'll just quickly run through it. So here is the desert zone. Down here we have the like snow biome, and then the rest of it is obviously green, and that is the green. Now the thing with the green is where people spawn. So as we can see over here, I've spawned here, so this is likely to be a spawn point. There will be other spawn points around the map, so that, I don't know, this could be one up here, and then I don't know, you might have one down here. So they could be the spawn points. I don't know how many there are, 3 or 4 on a map depending on the size of the map. So really, if you want to have a successful wipe, avoid these spawn points. Okay, so we don't want to be building near them. Unless you want to have interactions with people constantly throughout your wipe and you like messing around with nakeds and stuff, then feel free to build there because there will always be people there. But if you want a successful wipe, the go-to area I would say is the snow zone. Now, I wouldn't build too deep into the snow zone because, for example, I wouldn't build down in this island down here because, for example, there's an ice lake here. So say, for example, if someone, a Zerg built their base on that ice lake, you're going to have to cross past them every time you want to go to a half-decent monument. So you'd probably want to build up here somewhere, and that way you're close to like train yard, bandit camp, and dome isn't too far, and you've got sewer branch there. So like here would be quite a nice spot probably. So this is just a random map I've picked. Yeah, so being in the snow, you're not going to get constant people attacking you all the time, and you're probably not going to get the guys in full metal Zergs roaming around in the snow because they take damage when they're wearing that armor. So that if you want to have a successful wipe, it's probably the snow, because it's easiest to get the nodes as well because loads of nodes spawn. Okay guys, so that's that one. Okay guys, this next tip isn't the best of all tips, but it's something to just bear in mind because it has helped me in the past. That's the reason why I've chucked this in. So what I see a lot of the time is when people are building a base, they do this, which there's nothing wrong with doing this, and then they put the doors on, and then they go around with the twig, and by this time someone's already been alerted that they're building a base, and then you start to put your roof on, and then they come in and kill you, and you lose all your resources. Now, there's nothing going to stop you losing your resources. If them guys are going to kill you at this stage, you're going to lose your stuff, right? Okay, that's fine. But that you might now lose this plot of land because they might take it over, because depending on how much you've upgraded and whatever. So what I tend to do, something slightly different. Obviously you have to put your twig floor plan down first to make sure that you can, if you wanted to add honeycomb, make sure you can fit what base you're going to build on the plot of land. Obviously I've done this on a flat surface. Okay. Then what I do is I chuck my front door on and I upgrade these two, chuck my door on, and a lock. Now the reason for this is if I get killed now, okay, odds on they're probably not going to take over this plot of land. Reason being is this is now a pain for them if they were to try and take over this base. Okay, so then what I would do is I'd probably, once that's done, go around the very outside of the base, okay, like so, and then upgrade all this. So now you're not going to get killed by probably by like bow guys and spear guys and stuff like that. Okay, but someone could still boost over and kill you. Okay, so at this point you'd probably be want to chucking down this long as no one could see where you're going to put your TC. So maybe just go seal the roof like so, and then once that's done, then you just design how you're going to put your base and where you're going to put your TC. Chuck your TC down and always lock your TC. Just in case for some reason someone goes deep on you, and then obviously, and then that, and chuck a door on there, and then you can design the inside of your base safely. Okay, guys? Okay, so this next tip is airlocks, guys. So the way an airlock works, this is a mock of your inside of your base, and this is to go outside. So the objective of an airlock is to stop people getting in. So basically you have to shut this door so it seals it before you open the door to the outside. So if you get killed, they can only get into here, okay? But there is a couple of different variants of common airlocks. For example, here when this front door is open, if we open this second door, it does stop people coming in and out. And you can do this on the other side as well. So if we come over to this one, as you can see, the door is on the other side. So we have this one opening inwards, and this one opens inwards, and it does the same type of job. Obviously the other one I think is a bit better, but it still does the same job. And there is another type. I mean, there's lots of different ones. I've only done a few for an example. So we've got the same one as we had on the first example, okay? But what we can also do is we can open this one here. Now that one stops us going in through here, like so. And then if you really wanted, you could add two, and you've got two doors there as well, okay, guys? And you can still see outside as well. So that was just a quick example of airlocks. Okay guys, my next tip is door pushes. So if you don't know what a door pusher is, I'm about to show you. I've got 6 designs that I've made. What it is a door push basically means that the raiders can't raid through your door path without having to raid a wall, because you need a door to push you through a small gap. Okay, so this is my latest design I've made, which I've not got in any base designs. So you basically just come in here, shut the door, holding right, just press E, and it pushes you through, and then you're into your base. And the same, exactly the same going out. You just push yourself through that way, and you are in. Moving on to the next one. This is the most commonly used one. I didn't design this one, but I did find out when they updated the roofs that this has to be HQM, which is a big downfall, in my personal opinion, on the best door push that was ever made. So this one's very simple. You just can't get through this gap. Crouch, walk backwards and open this door, and you're through. Same with this one. Crouch, walk backwards, and you're through. Okay, that's the most commonly easy one. Moving on to this one over here, we've got, so this would be the outside of your base. You come in like so. You have a set of stairs. This is another new one that I've made, and you just can't get through this door. You just push yourself through like so, and you're into your base. And same here, you just crouch and push yourself through that way. Next one here, this one is fully stone, so you don't need no metal, so this one would work perfectly with wooden doors. Okay, so this would be the outside, so this would be the inside of your base there. So this would be the outside, so you come in and you just jump on this box, and then you just, with this, it's better with a large box, but I wanted to show that you can do it with a small or a large. So you just crouch here and you just push yourself through, and it's a bit easier on the large box because you get into place a lot easier. And it didn't work that time, just typical because we're on the video. Crouch, there we go, and we are back outside. Moving on to the next one. This one only uses one sheet metal roof. The stone ones are the best ones because you don't need no metal at all. This one's the same. This roof blocks the windows. You just crouch here, and this one can be. This one used to be perfect, and they've changed it. This one you kind of got to look down when you get pushed through, like so, and same here, pushes you through like so. I'm not too keen on that one anymore since the update, and this one here is quite a good one as well because I've also got a method to turn this one into a trap as well. So this one here uses a metal wall. This one used to use stone, but Patch has made it metal now, so you just crouch here and go through like so, and the same on this side, and that pushes you through like so. So that's how it works, guys. Basically means they blow through a few doors and they bump into problems. So I highly recommend learning a door push to chuck on the front of your base. Okay, next up is stability bunkers. Now if you don't know what they are, I will show you, and I'm going to give you a couple of basic examples. Okay, so first up, this is the most common stability bunker. So what a stability bunker is this floor tile here, as you can see, is a floor tile, and these two here are foundations. Now you cannot attach a floor tile to foundations. So the only reason why that is standing there is because this half wall out of twig, which you normally make wood or twig, is giving it some stability. So when we break this twig wall, this floor tile will then disappear. So when you get offline for the night, what you do is you put your bunker up and go offline, and it means that it has to cost more. But the problem with most bunkers is these foundations are soft-sidable. So as you can see, if we break this, it opens the bunker. But these are soft-sidable, so then you would have to go and honeycomb two foundations for the most basic of bunkers. And they used to be splashable, which I don't think they are now. So when they were splashable, people used to make these ones here where the twig walls are a bit further back, and then you put another triangle, and then this one. So similar thing, just set a bit further back, and it works the same. You have to break these and it opens up the bunker. Okay. Next up, what we got is a design I made myself, and this one's slightly different. And the good thing about this one is it only uses one foundation, so you only need to honeycomb this one foundation to stop it from being soft-sided, which is a good thing. And it also, when you used to be able to splash through the walls to the twig, it has two pieces of wood that need to be removed to open the bunker seal. Okay, and it doesn't matter which one you break. So if I break this one first, the bunker stays, and then we break this one and the bunker is now open. Same if I seal it up again and show you the other way around. Okay, make this stone. Do it the other way around. We break this one first, the bunker stays, and then you have to break this one. Okay, so it's like kind of like a double seal, and that's just a bunker that I come up with myself. So bunkers are great because when you go offline, it gives you that extra protection. That means people have to pay more to raid your base. The downside is when you're online, you're going to be leaving your bunker open, so therefore it can weaken your base. So just bear that in mind, right, guys? There's lots of different bunkers online. Just have a look, and you will find them. Okay, next up, guys, is usable honeycombs. So the way this works is basically it's just honeycomb, like everyone knows, to strengthen your base. But what you do is you actually put an item in it and make it accessible to basically free up actual space in the main part of your base. So the way it works here is, for example, if someone I'll show you what I've got inside first, actually. So in this example, we've got 3 furnaces. In this example, we have... open this way, open... There you go. So you can access both of them in there. And that's storage. You've got 2 vending machines of storage in there. That's rather a lot for a triangle's worth of honeycomb. Or you can put a locker in there. So they're just 3 examples. And like I said, the way it works is if someone did raid your honeycomb, yes, they get to this and they can see into your base, but they've got these 2 walls here, hard side facing out. Obviously, it means them to progress further into your base, they have to blow the walls like they would on normal honeycomb. The only downside is they can see in, so just be wary of what they can see or soft side from being in that piece of usable honeycomb. Okay, guys? So that's that. Okay guys, next one is external TCs. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you what they are, how they work, why you have them, and the basics of them, and I'll show you how to build one at the end as well. Okay, so let's get into it. It's quite a long one, so I'll try and make it as quick as possible. So this is an example of your main base and your main TC. Okay, so if the raiders raid you and they get to your TC and break it, they cannot grief your base because the reason for that is you have an external TC. The external TC works like this. You have a TC in here, and then because you're building out with this long arm, you're extending the building privileges of that TC right the way out to here. On this last piece, there'll be a bubble around this last piece which gives building privileges, which is going to overlap your main base. Okay, so you can't place it. Now the raiders have 2 options then to grief your base. They can either raid this and break the TC, or they can disconnect this arm by soft siding this and breaking this frame. Okay, if they do that, it does disconnect the arm and they were able to grief your base by putting the TC down. So the only problem with external TCs like this is the fact that once you've been raided and you've got your base back, you need to then come in here and break your TC. Okay, so you come in, break your TC, okay, come back, put your main TC back where it was, and then you need to go back to your external TC and put that down and close it up. Okay, it is as simple as that. This is obviously just a really basic 8 rocket design. Okay, it's absolutely nothing fancy, but that's what it is. Okay, so because of this, there is a newer type of version called an external, disconnectable external TC. So I'll show you how this one works. Okay, pretty much the same deal. Raider breaks your TC, they can't place it, but instead of having to come over here and break your TC when you need to replace it, you can open up this bunker. Now I didn't come up with this. I made this design. I don't know who made this cross bunker design. If anyone does, just drop it in the comments for me. I'll put them in the description. Thank you. Anyway, so to open up this cross roof bunker, you just place a twig roof there, like so, and that opens it up. As you can see in here, I have actually placed some of the items in the wrong place. The large box should be closer here and the bag at the back. But I'm not going to change that now. Anyway, so what you can do is you can open up the bunker and break this twig low wall. Okay, let's do it. So we'll break the twig low wall, and then that will let us come back, put the TC down, okay, and then you come back, and I don't think you can place the low wall through here. I'll try quickly. There you go, you can. You can even place the low wall back in, seal the bunker back up, and it's job done. This design I made is you spawn inside. Okay, you've got storage on one side, storage and TC on the other side, and the good thing about this one is the fact that if the raiders do try and raid it, they don't know which side the TC is on, so it might cost them more than they actually wanted to. Place that. So that is a disconnectable TC. I've also got another design which is disconnectable and also can be used as like a flanking base. So like I said again, let's do the demonstration from the start. So if the TC gets broken, you can't place it. Okay, you come over here and what we've got is an airlock and then another airlock. Okay, got your sleeping bag. In here we've got some storage and a furnace. Okay, jump over here. in here you've got more storage and your TC, okay, and then up here you've got some more storage, and you've also got a nice little shooting floor here to try and get some angles to help defend your base if it's being raided. Okay, so this is cost more, but obviously it does have some other benefits. But you're probably thinking, well, hang on, well, where's the disconnectable part? Well, because this is floor stacked, the disconnectable part is this twig roof here. Okay, so I'd recommend making that wood. That had only decayed, that was the reason why that was weak. And all you do is you break that piece of wood and you come back out here, base your TC down, and then you come back over inside your external like so, and just replace this, okay? Like so, and then it's sealed. And you just shut it all up and job done. Okay guys, so they're my 3 examples. A couple of them I come up with, well, I might come up with all of them, and then just an example on how to get an external TC. So let's do another basic example, like so. There we go. So this is your main base with your TC inside. Okay, what you want to do is a part of your base come off 8 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, put a triangle at the end. Break all these. Come back with some triangles. Just keep coming back in half moons. I mean, like C shapes, like this. Another C, and then this last piece will have a gap between it and the actual base. Remove all these, and then you can come back. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you could do like I said, something like this. Like a TC in there. Okay guys. And then obviously just build it up however you want to do it. Like so. That's like a real basic one. And then if you wanted to as well, put the frames down. Okay, so that is how simple, cheap, easy and effective these actually are for protecting your base. Okay guys, so I hope that helps. Everyone should really know about these. It's quite a big thing. Okay, let's move on. Okay, next tip, guys, is streamer mode. If you do not know what streamer mode is, it hides your name from other players online. So if you are a big streamer and you bumped into someone, you don't want your name showing, so you can change your name. And the funny thing about this is that everyone gets allocated a streamer name, and you can change to that name. So let's have a look. So if I go escape now, my name is Ada. Okay. Funny that. And if I go to options has streamer mode. I turn on streamer mode and then I press tab and my streamer name is Doris. So I can then take on the role of Doris and go around doing whatever I please, and people won't know it's me. And then if I really wanted to, certain situations, I can always switch back to my known name. So you can basically act like you have two personalities and be two different people. I mean, you could be friends with someone under one name and then you could kill them under the other name. I mean, it's Rust, for Christ's sake. I mean, you can do whatever. I mean, you can play good cop, bad cop. Do you know what I mean? It's just totally up to you guys, alright? So just to let you know that that is a possibility. Okay guys, next tip is suicide bunkers. So if you don't know what they are, I'll explain it, and you can pretty much chuck them in any base. I won't be showing you how to do it in this video, but I have plenty of videos on my channel which shows you how to build them. Okay, so what is a suicide bunker? If you don't know, it's a completely sealed, normally a 1x1 room. As you can see, this is totally sealed. There's no way in. Okay, and what you do is there's different methods to pass loot through the walls. A lot of people don't like suicide bunkers because what you have to do is you have to press F1, go to the console, type kill and press enter. That will kill yourself, and then what you have to do then is spawn on the sleeping bag inside. Okay, and then what you do here is you grab the loot that you've passed through the wall and then you stash it in a box. These are preferably used for offline storage, so at the end of the night put your loot in these boxes so that your TC, which is here, and your best loot is going to be in the most safest place in your base that it can be. For example, this is 8 rockets, cheap as chips, sheet metal 1x1, 8 rockets. Okay, so that is the most basic method of using 2 drop boxes, one facing one way, one facing the other. And the thing about this method is if one of the other methods that I show you in a minute breaks, you can always chuck 2 of these on to save it. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. This was the current meta for a long time, this method here. So this one here is exactly the same as the other one, but there's a box poking through the wall. So you just chuck your stuff in the box, okay, kill, F1 kill inside, and you spawn on this bag here at the back. And as you can see, you've got 3 boxes of storage. You grab your loot, fill it in here at the night, and there's your TC. Okay, this used a method of using the conditional wall to break it in half. Use a salvage shelves, and placing the box on it, so the box then pokes through the wall. Okay, next up was a method which I improved on that myself, was using a triangle floor tile inside. Okay, so as you can see here, the box is hard. You can put stuff in front of that as well if you really wanted. I mean, look, you could put, I mean, you're not going to put a tier 3 in a starter base like this, but you can try and hide it, do you know what I mean? So stuff like that. Anyway, moving on. So in this base, in this one here, it's exactly the same as the other one, but it uses no BPs because you don't need the salvage shells. So you poke the box through the wall there. You've got 3 large boxes and your TC and 1 sleeping bag. Okay, so then to me, that becomes a more viable option because you can build that on day 1 to start the wipe with no BP. Next up here, I've built a rough, just a starter base design just to show you roughly what you can do with this. But I've also gone for a 2 sleeping bag method on this one. Okay guys, so in here you come on in, you've got 2 large boxes down the bottom. You've got your usable honeycomb here with 3 furnaces, some usable honeycomb over here with the barbecues, and then what you do is you can jump up here and you've got some more storage, some more barbecues, and up on the roof here you've got 1, 2, 3 large and a small here. So you've got like a ton of storage in here. Obviously the bad bit about this design is there's nowhere for a workbench, but it's just a quick starter. But this box here is your transfer loot box, and as you can see it's poking out loads, but the reason for that is we spawn inside, and this is a duo one, so you've got your 2 sleeping bags in here, so you and a friend can both have access in here if needed. You've got your TC, you've got 4 barbecues and 5 small boxes. There's plenty of storage for your offline storage or your boom, or however you want to do it. Okay, and for an example, this is honeycombs, so it's going to be like 12 rockets to TC starter base, which for a tiny starter is pretty decent. Okay guys, I hope this one helps. Okay guys, this next one's pretty well known throughout most players, but for anyone new I had to put this in there just to let you know. So campfires, how they work. You fill them with wood and that turns them on and off. Then you have 4 other slots. What you want to do is separate your food evenly into piles of 3 and leave 1 slot empty. The reason why we leave 1 slot empty is because charcoal is going to accumulate in this 1 slot. Okay, so I will speed this up just to show you. There we go. As you can see, charcoal is now accumulated in that slot. Now what's going to happen is now when a piece of bear meat cooks, there's going to be no slot to store that cooked piece of bear meat. So this is what happens. The cooked bear meat pops out of the campfire and turns the campfire off. Now the 2 benefits for this is 1, you can't burn your meat because it's now cooked and turned off the campfire, and the other one is you can't leave your wood just burning away, wasting, unless you get down to the last few. So there we go. Now as soon as I turn the campfire on, another one will pop out. As soon as I turn the campfire on again, another one will pop out. And then the next time I turn it on, it's going to have to do the whole cycle of cooking the first one all over again, or cooking all 3 of them. So I've got 3 cooked now. And there you go guys, that is just a quick tip how to not burn your food and waste your resources. Okay guys, so next up are some comfort options and cheap ways to get your health up. Especially if you're a solo, this makes a big difference to me, especially where I don't want to be munching all my food all the time. So normally if you spawn, you only need to eat 1 or 2 items maybe. It used to have to get your food and hydration above 100 for this to work, but it only works now with food. So all you need to do is get your food bar here over 100. Now this is a chair which used to be my favourite item for this. It was a BP item which was quite annoying to find because it was not that easy. So you just mount that, go up to 100% comfort, and that's going to take you up to 100% health. Okay. Next one is this chair here. Now this comes in the summer DLC pack, so you don't have to find the BP, you have it from day 1, and it's the same thing. You sit in it and it goes up to 100% comfort and your health goes up. Okay, I'm just going to damage myself real quick just for the video. There we go. Next up, what we got is a sleeping bag and campfire. Now you turn your campfire on, stand on your sleeping bag, and you should go up to 50% comfort. Now 50% comfort I'll speed this up, will take us up to 81 health, sorry. So I'll speed this up. There you go guys, as you can see now my health is not going up anymore. 50% comfort, I have reached 81% health. Okay guys, and then if you want to find another cheap way, obviously this is a BP, but if you do have a rug, just chuck the rug above your sleeping bag on the roof, stand on this, and it will take us up to 95% comfort, and that should boost us all the way to 100 health. So it's the cheapest way to get your health up without using all your food or bandages and cloth in your base. As you can see guys, it's going up, and there we go, 99, as good as 100. There we go guys, right, that's that one. Okay, so this tip is as simple as it looks, guys. Now what it is you need to practice your base designs before you build them on your real server. Okay, so practice them. The reason why you want to practice them is so you know how to build them and you don't make any mistakes. Also, you can build them quicker, because obviously the longer it takes you to build something, you could get killed and lose your resources. Also, practice maybe building it as a starter to main base, so that way you don't have to build a separate starter base. So there's lots of reasons that you should come to a build server. I'm using my own build server, which I'll put a link to in the description down below, Rusty Bullet Hole. And the reason why this server is quite good is it's very basic. It's just a giant flat map. You just find yourself an area that's not been used and you can build on it, and it basically simulates you being the admin of the server, which is handy. So what I mean is you spawn with a kit already, so you basically spawn with enough, you can just literally go and start building. But if there's stuff you want, you can just press F1, click items at the top, and then click on the picture and it will give you one of those guns or whatever you want. You can do anything: food, resources, ammo, anything. If you want 100 of them, you can click the little 100 button, or if you want 1,000 of them, you can click the 1k. It is as simple as that. But before we move on, there's a couple of things I would recommend you do if you do come on this server. Press F1, go to console and type God space true. Okay, that will make you invincible, so you can't fall damage or anything like that. So that's just going to help. And there's a couple of other things that I recommend you do as well, guys. Is you press F1 again and type bind. Now I'm going to use the key O, so I'm going to type O. You can use any key you want, but I'm going to use O. And then type no clip. Hit enter. What this does is every time I press O now, I can fly around. Okay, and then when I press O again, I don't fly around. Okay, simple as that. And there is one other one that you might be interested in as well, which is bind. I'm going to use the key P, bind P, and it's debug camera. Debug camera. Hit enter. And then what happens is when I press P, I go into camera mode outside my body, and as you can see, I can just fly around and have a look around. Check out what skins I'm wearing, check out where I am in the base, just whatever you want to use it for. Press P again and I'm back inside my body. Okay, one last thing for this build server before I go is if you build something, it's not going to let me build here, let me just fly somewhere real quick. Okay, so I've just found somewhere to build, like so. And what you can do on this server is... there we go, I don't know what's happening there. There we go, on this here. So if you wanted to remove a foundation, all you need to do is in chat type /remove, hit enter, and you can basically just left click on any part of your base if you need to break it. Okay, so it saves you having the TC timer or having to destroy it. Other means you can just destroy whatever you want. So if you make a mistake on that build, it isn't too hard to get it fixed. Okay, guys. Okay, so this next tip is basically what it says. Rather than building big bases, build small little ones. And this is just an example of why I recommend you do this. So this is a pretty typical standard base that someone would build, a honeycombed 2x2. Okay, so just for argument's sake, excuse the door raid path, but let's just say they raided through the back or the top. It's going to cost them, no matter which way they go, the cheapest way, a stone wall, say 4 rockets, and then a sheet metal wall, 8 rockets. So 12 rocket raid because I've put a sheet metal suicide bunker in this. I've done this just for ease of the explanation. So let's just call this 12 rocket raid base. Then over here, if we had 2 little bases, this size, okay, we made 2 of these, and it's the same type of thing. You'd have your living space, and then it's a suicide bunker just to make the raid cost bang on 8. So you'd have 2 of these. It's going to cost you 16, and it's cheaper than that. Granted, they are separated, but also it's going to cost you more to raid these 2 bases than it would 1 base. Okay. Also, if you get raided, odds on you're probably not going to get raided both your bases. So if you've been splitting your loot, you're not going to be deleted from the server. So you might come online and one of your bases has been raided, but you've still got another one to live out of. Okay, so that is the main benefit of having multiple bases. And I mean, I done this, whipped up this other example here. So like even with the door path, would be 12 rockets. So if you had 2 of these, you're looking at 24 rockets to raid both of them. It's just unlikely that that's going to happen overnight unless you've really peed someone off. So over here, I've just whipped up that this is an unfinished base. It looks like a right monstrosity, I know. But at the moment, this is just going to have like a little cheeky door push on the front. Like I said, it's going to have a suicide bunker. But the thing about this base is each one of these are going to be disconnectable. Okay, as you can see here, disconnectable, and they're going to be external TCs for the other base. So each one is going to be an external TC for the other base. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to be playing around with this and seeing if I can make it into a viable base design soon. But you get the picture. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, this next tip, guys, is hidden stashes. Now, the best thing to do is do this at the start of your base or on a part where you're expanding, but it might not work then. So the best time is now. So I picked this nice little top of a hill, little hill bits. So I'm just going to pick this one here. So what you want to do is just put down on the very highest point. I know, put down a few stashes. You can put down as many as you want. I'm just going to go with 3. Okay, then you get your foundation. That looks about right, but I'll probably go like roughly like that. Okay, that looks about right. It's clipping through the wall a bit. That's not great. But anyway, so you build your base. Okay, so however you want to do it, like that. Okay, and then let's just say that we make this our loot room, like so, and we're going to chuck a TC in there. It's only a 2x2, so you're going to want to, there we go. So what you can do is you can then put some loot in these, okay, and then you can hide it with a box, okay. So if someone raided you, they might come in, they might break your TC, they might do all this and empty your box, and you come back on, and all you do is you pick up your box and all your best loot is still there. Okay, so they don't know about that. Okay, so there is that option, or the other option is you put the loot in and you bury it. Okay, like so, and then when you pick up the box you can dig them back up. Sometimes you have to like jump like so to get them to come up, or the only reason why I don't like burying them is the fact that it can happen when a raider is looking in the box. See, if they're here and they're like looking in the box, it's fine, but if they get in the right position, there you go, see, it digs them up, and then the raiders know there's something there. So there's two options there. Personally, I prefer leaving the stashes up, but it's just an option that you can add to your base when you start to build it. So this next tip's quite a small one, but it can be quite handy in some base designs. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a really small floor plan of a base. So let's just say this was going to be my floor plan, okay, like so, for some whatever reason, okay. There we go. So it looks like this, and you had walls and floors, ever. So if you have a lower triangle than anywhere else, you can actually fit 3 furnaces in here, okay, like so, and it just acts like there's a normal floor. Okay, so you just walk over it, it makes no odds whatsoever, but yet you've made that space there. I mean, you could even if it's next to like a loot room, site block, there we go. So like even if this was some kind of loot room or whatever, do you know what I mean? It still actually works. As long as it is a triangle and it's lower than everything else, then it makes no odds, okay? So that is the little cheeky furnace trick. So this next tip is basically just a little bit of information about workbenches and soft-siding bunkers. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've just built, this will be the inside core of your base in here, and this would be the outer part of your base. And this is just a standard stability bunker like I've shown earlier. So I'm just going to seal the bunker like so, and there we go. And what we're going to do now is we're going to pretend a raid has come into this point, and they know there's more of a base behind there, but there's no door. So they're going to check the floor. Okay, as you can see here, this is 100% stability, 31% stability, and 100% stability. If it has 100% stability, it is a foundation. So this is not a foundation. So they know there's a bunker behind it. But the problem is, these foundations here have not been honeycombed over the top, so we could soft side them. So what I'm going to do is simulate soft siding it. And what you're going to do now is you'll see how quickly the HP goes down with the jackhammer. Now the thing with jackhammers is they can be repaired. And what thing that repairs them is workbenches. So what all you do is you walk up to a workbench and you press E. You select your jackhammer and you can click refill. There we go. It's now refilled nearly to 100%, and I can start jackhammering away again. So basically, I'm not going to do that again. So the point of the matter is if you have a bunker which is soft sidable, do not leave your foundation this side of the bunker. Make sure it is in this side of the bunker. Okay, but there is a problem, because what you can do is you can, if you don't have space for a workbench in your main core, you can actually pick them up. Okay, so then I'm going to go into my, oops, I broke the wrong part, sorry. I'm going to go into the core, and you can stash your workbench away. Okay, yeah, you can stash your workbench away for the night, and then what you could do is go and reseal your bunker, like so. You have to start from the outside. So there you go. So you can seal your bunker and it's logged away. But then the problem is, if you look, it's now weak. Okay. So what I'm going to just explain to you what is viable and what isn't. So if we pick one of these up and we replace it, each hit is 3 scrap, 5 metal frags, and 25 wood, and it takes 4 hits to repair. So if you pick up your level 1 workbench and replace it, it's going to cost you about 12 scrap, just to round it up, 25 metal, and 100 wood, which is nothing. That is so cheap that it is worth picking up your level 1 workbench if need be. Your level 2 workbench, let's pick this up, place this down. Each hit is 25 scrap, 1 high quality metal, and 25 metal frags. So to round this up, it takes 4 hits to do. It's going to cost you about 100 scrap, 4 HQM, and 100 metal. Okay, so the 4 HQM isn't that bad, and the 100 metal isn't, but 100 scrap is quite a lot every time you want to log off if you want to pick up a level 2. So the level 2 is a bit of a maybe whether it's worth picking up or not. Now the level 3, we're going to place this one back down, and it takes 42 scrap, 4 high qual, and 34 metal frags, and it takes 6 hits to fully repair. So to round this one up, it's going to cost you 250 scrap just to repair it. 24 HQM metal and 204 metal frags. So the 204 metal frags is nothing. 24 high qual is quite a lot personally, just to pick up your workbench. But the big one is 250 scrap. I personally do not think it's worth picking up your workbench for 250 scrap just to repair it again. So there you go, guys. It's just a little thing on soft siding and the new workbench is that you can pick up. Okay guys, so this next one does require a few things and a little glitch, but you don't have to use the glitch, but I'm just going to show you what it is anyway. So first up, you do need preferably a full diving kit. So that's the wetsuit, the diving tank, the flippers, and the diving mask, and also you need a miner's hat with some low grade fuel in it. Okay, well, if you've got all them, if you've just acquired them from looting roads or monuments or whatever, then you might consider using this strategy. So what you do is go to the harbour, or the place where you get the boats. I forgot what the name of it. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to do this at night time. But before we go out at night, there's one thing we need to do. We need to be able to make the water invisible. So to do this, we need to type this, press F1, go to console, and type these commands. Sorry, there we are. So bind space H space water dot quality space 0. That is going to bind the key H on your keyboard to set the water quality to 0, and then you want to use J as well, bind J water.quality 2. So that sets the water quality to 2 on J. Now what happens then is when we keep pressing HJ, 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 every time we switch between the water quality, the water goes invisible for a second. And if you spam it, you can pretty much see through the water. So you want to be looking for the red boats. Okay? You can do them rocks, and rocks can be quite good, but the big rocks. So what we're going to do is we're going to go nighttime, and we're going to go out. Make sure it's not foggy at night as well, because you won't be able to see under the water very well. So let's make it night. Okay, and we'll go out and see what we can find. So as you can see, look, you can still see under the water just fine. Okay, so we're going to go out and try and find some red boats. That's one over there, isn't it? Where's that shadow? There you are. You can do them rocks as well. You can get some good loot, but as I'll show you what I've already done 2 boats already. So you can see that boat there. As soon as there's the bottle, I know straight down from here. So I would recommend stopping. Turn your engine off and take your fuel out. As you can see, all the loot here is just from 2 loot runs of 2 red boats. These ones I'm about to do. So what you do now is you put your mask on and dive straight down, and then because we've got the miner's hat on, press F. It puts our lamp on so we can see what we're doing when we're down there. Get close to it now. There we go, we're on the boat. So all you do is untie all these on the boat, grab them, get back on the boat. I'll speed this bit up. Okay, so I've just untied all the boxes. I'm heading up now. So you can use, before you get to the very top, you can use the J and the H as well to check that no one else has pulled up and is waiting for you. Look, obviously it's clear here, so what we'd do is we just go up. Now you can, if you 100% no one's around, get above the water because you don't want to waste your diving seconds on your mask. Okay, yeah, your diving tank, okay. So just to let you know that a friend of mine showed this old FKN FKR, and he done this for a whole hour just doing them red boats and then recycled everything and made about 3k scrap. So this is a valid strat, guys, so I hope it helps. Okay guys, so my next tip is practice your aim on a name server, guys. I can't stress how important this is. So quickly, just going on, if you go to my history, there's multiple servers out there that have this, but the one I use is Restoria's RTG Combat Arena, and I'll show you why I'd use this one.
How are you doing now?
Press R, you can use the
Okay, so as you can see, I'm in the aim trainer, and this is what you use. And the good thing about this one is if you look on the left here, you can see the recoil pattern for whichever gun you select. And the good thing about it is it marks where you shoot when you against the actual recoil. So if I just try and do this, please ignore my AK. I've probably got about like 10 hours using this gun, so please just don't hate me for it. Okay, so this is practice. Mine is horrendous. As you can see, you select any gun, and that is the recoil. I cannot use this gun. There you go. So just get on here, practice, pick your favourite gun and practice it so you can actually end up shooting it from quite a range, hitting some bullets. And yeah, there's also bow training ones as well. If you're the type of player like me that doesn't normally get many guns during a wipe and doesn't have any good aim, yeah, try practicing with the bow as well. Okay, so this last one is about sleeping bags and their timers and the range in which they share timers. So I'll show you what I mean. So this is really new. They've only just changed it like this. You used to have to do it a different way, but I'll show you what I mean. So this is gonna an example of your base, and we're gonna have a sleeping bag in it. So this sleeping bag will have a timer now because I've just placed it, and it will also have a timer every time you die in the area of this sleeping bag. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to place another sleeping bag outside, but as you can see, it's yellow. Okay, so if it's yellow, no matter where I place this sleeping bag, that it will share the same kill timer as this. So if you die within that area, both of the sleeping bags, these two sleeping bags, will share the same timer. You will not able to respawn on them until the timer is up. Okay, but if you keep going a little bit further out and the sleeping bag changes colour to blue, then it's a different story. What that will mean, I'm just going to keep running until it goes blue. There we go, it's gone blue. So there it is, look, this yellow, blue. Okay, so that's blue. So it's not that far away, but you could hide it in a bush or whatever. So basically, if you die over here in your base or near these two sleeping bags will be on a timer, but you will able to spawn on this sleeping bag over here. Alright guys, so it's just a little tip on how to not have your sleeping bags sharing the same timer. So if a bag is on a timer, you have other options of spawning to get back in the map near where you need to be. Otherwise, if all your bags are on a timer and you can't go anywhere, you have to hit the respawn button, and you could be spawning the other side of the map on the beach, which is no good for nobody. Okay guys, so I hope you guys like this tips video. If you did like it and you did get this far, then thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later.
It's never too late. It's never too late.